Hello, today I would like to talk about pectin. You wonder why do I carry these fruits in my plate in front of me? So we have lemons, we have orange as example of citrus fruits, and we have apple. Why? Because pectin comes from citrus fruits and from apples. So it's 100% natural gelation agent. There are various types of pectin. There is citrus pectin, there is apple pectin, yellow pectin, it calls pectin jaune, there is pectin NH. I will be talking about pectin NH because it has more advantages than any other types of pectin in pastry. So pectin NH looks like powder, so you can see it looks like powder. What is it? It comes from citrus fruits. How do we work with pectin NH? Before we incorporate it to our fruit puree, we need to pre-mix it with sugar. Why? Because pectin is a powder. So if we directly add it to our fruit puree, it will become like a chunk that will never dissolve. So in order to dissolve it properly, we pre-mix pectin with sugar. So you take some granulated sugar, mix it with pectin that is in your recipe, and then you add it to your fruit puree. One of the advantages for me as a mousse cake maker is that pectin NH is reversible. So what does it mean? It means that when I cooked my fruit center from, for example, I have raspberry fruit puree, I can make raspberry confit from it using pectin NH. I can pour it in a shape, freeze it, and then I can defreeze it, melt again, pour it in another shape and freeze it again. So it means that pectin NH is reversible. You can freeze it, you can melt it and freeze it again, that you cannot do, for example, with gelatin. Another advantage of pectin, what is the biggest difference between pectin and gelatin, is that when we work with pectin, we receive consistency of jam, very soft and interesting texture in our cake. When we work with gelatin, we receive jelly, right? To achieve a closer consistency to pectin, you can work with gelatin plus cornstarch. That is possible, and the final consistency will look kind of like jam if you don't have pectin, but that mixture you cannot freeze and then defreeze again. All right, so you can just work with it one time. When we talk about gelatin, I receive so many questions. So gelatin powder or gelatin leaves. Powder and leaves, it's the same, it's just the consistency and how we work with it. So when we have powder gelatin, we need to soak it in 5 times of cold water, and we receive gelatin mass. It will look like this, that we melt, and we receive soaked melted gelatin that we use in our preparations. There are various types of gelatin, and it defines by bloom. Bloom means power. So there is 150, 200, 160, 200 and 220 bloom. As more bloom, as more powerful your gelatin is. If in the recipe says you need to take 5 grams of gelatin 220 bloom, and your gelatin that you are working with is only 160 bloom, you need to create a coefficient. So you take 220, divide 160, you get a coefficient, for example 1.2. It means that each gelatin ingredient in your recipe, for example the recipe says 5 grams, you need to multiply by 1.2, and you will get the amount of gelatin that you need to take of your gelatin, 160 bloom. All right, that's about bloom. In America, for example, in the States, gelatin can be divided by the name silver, bronze, silver, gold, like this. So also silver means 160, bronze is 200, and gold is 220. So I hope that was informative and you won't be scared of pectin as a gelation agent. Due to its unusual name, pectin comes from the citrus fruits. It's 100% natural gelation agent, and it has so many advantages. The last thing I just remembered I wanted to tell you, the difference between yellow pectin and Pectin NH is that pectin requires a certain amount of dry extract. In our recipe, dry extract is sugar, in order to activate, to start stabilizing. So for pectin, yellow pectin, you need 50% of sugar. So for example, if you have 100% of fruit puree, it means you need 50 grams of sugar in order for pectin to work. So it will stabilize this puree into the jam. But when we work with Pectin NH, we need only 20% of dry extract, which is sugar, let's say, in our recipe. So it's twice less sugar you need in order to obtain the consistency of jam. So you can create less sugary fillings where you will really taste the raspberry or strawberry or any other puree. I hope that was informative. Press likes and watch previews to all my online classes on my channel. Bye!